The following is a production of cprundown.com. The views and opinions expressed by the hosts of this podcast are those of the individual and not of any affiliated companies. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast covering the Cedar Fair Entertainment Company, the amusement industry, and the business of fun. Here are your hosts, Carsten Anderson, Evan Schultz, and Kyle Huth.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast where we cover Cedar Fair, Cedar Point, and everything to do with fun. We're back for another week, and this is going to be a predominantly HalloWeekends heavy episode. Yeah, I just wanted to come clean at the top of the air. I have a lot of stuff going on right now. I'm getting ready for a work trip and all of the fun that comes with that. So I'm crazy busy. So I'm actually not going to be on this episode all that much. We're going to let Carsten and Evan talk about HalloWeekends, and then I'm going to dip. So before I go, I just wanted to say how much fun it was to have you down here this past weekend, Carsten, at Horror Nights. I know we went 2 nights out of the 3. You went all 3, but I'm blocked out on Saturdays.
It was definitely fun. It was I mean, every single year I always look forward to Halloween Horror Nights. So
yeah,
I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah, I mean, really good houses this year. But do you have a favorite, Carsten? Were you able to nail one down?
I think probably, obviously, like The Weeknd. I do like The Weeknd as the artist, but I think probably the one that I love the most, I just like the storyline behind it, and it's an original house. It's got to be Bugs. I like the way that they have the concept and everything. I don't want to give away too much spoilers on it, but the way that the story just goes through and just everything, how everything goes.
The idea of that one is so unsettling to me.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, if you know me, you know I'm absolutely just petrified of Bugs, period. But
it's funny because it's almost more of a, like, comedic take on Bugs, where they're just, like, very oversized and, like, not trying to be scary.
Okay.
But a lot of people, like, Abby's afraid of it. She won't go in it. She did it once, and she won't go in it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, but so that's probably my favorite one. It was the Bugs, and obviously Halloween, that was a good one too.
Yeah,
and The Weeknd. So yeah,
another good year. Both shows were great.
Yep. Happy to.
I'm interested in the
show,
The Weeknd house. You know, there was that meme from his Super Bowl halftime show. Is that what the haunted house was?
So if you've
part of it.
If you've ever seen any of his music videos from the album After Hours, it follows those.
I have not seen a single one of them.
Okay. It follows those pretty well. It feels like you're walking through a music video, and it's a really fun house.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about it.
It almost feels like you're in a concert with him, per se, like almost like that. They got like
a dystopian one.
Yeah, it feels like you're at the Super Bowl, like with that setup and stuff and everything that they had. So
I will say one thing for The Weeknd. You know, I go every week and I keep rank of my houses, and The Weeknd has always been in the top 2 or 3 houses for me throughout the entire event, and everything else jumps around a whole lot. I mean, it's good.
Yeah, I agree.
I've seen a lot of cool clips of it. That's about the extent that I know of it, is whatever's been posted online.
Yeah, so I'm going to turn over the reins to you guys. I'm really excited to listen to this, tomorrow when we post it and hear what you have to say about HalloWeekends. But wish I could be here, but, sometimes things just get in the way. So I'm going to turn it over to you two.
Sounds good. Oh, yeah.
Bye, Kyle.
Yeah, bye, Kyle. Everybody say bye, Kyle. Everybody wave on the podcast.
See you later, guys.
Send him love packages. Send him love packages. But yeah, so jumping right in here. Hey, Evan. So last week, obviously, I was gone, and let's.
I got the first.
Yeah, you were the one that was posting a bunch of stuff on the Facebook page and celebrating your birthday weekend and stuff. So yeah, so I got to go to Cedar Point and HalloWeekends tonight a little bit. But yeah,
you got your little preview tonight.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. So give us your take.
So, well, real quick, I had no idea going into last weekend that I was even going to be at Haunt. And then
Right, yeah, we were talking about it. You're like,
yeah,
I don't know what my girlfriend's doing, and she wouldn't tell me
yeah.
what. And I'm like, well, it's either you're going to be at a different state, or you're
Or I'm going to be at Cedar Point all the time.
Point.
And that's what happened. She surprised me with the trip to Breakers Friday night, Saturday night.
Nice.
But so I'll get into Breakers later. But so I'll talk about, I guess, just talk about what I saw at Haunt mostly. I mean, so first off, the very first thing that I am over the moon about is we all remember the Speed Zone gift shop by Topville Dragster.
Yes.
That was no more as of French Fry Weekend, as it will forever be known. And that was to convert it over to a HalloWeekends themed shop. Not unlike Universal's Horror Nights tribute store.
Yeah,
basically the Walmart version of that. But
that's got 4 different rooms in it, by the way.
Well, this one only has 1, but I love it so much.
I got to see it in there.
Yeah, you just got to see it tonight. I mean, if you love merchandise, they have, and I don't really like Haunt merchandise, so I'm not going to buy a lot of it.
I'm not a big fan either. Yeah.
But if you are somebody that does like Haunt merchandise, they have so much, and it's all incredible stuff. They even have shirts for all the individual houses, which I don't think we've ever seen before.
Yes.
It's really, really cool.
Yeah, I saw every house has a shirt, and they're really nice shirts too, like really cool stuff. And then also,
I don't know what the company is, but they outsourced the graphics design.
The GV in Cleveland. I can't. I don't remember how to say their name, but yeah.
But yeah, everything looks really good. So then it was obviously a super busy weekend. So we didn't get to do all the houses. We only did Bloodbath twice, and whatever the new name of Erie Estate is, the
Haunting of Erie Estate, I believe, something like that.
Yeah. And then we did do all the outdoor haunts. I mean, even Cornstalkers, which is one you have to wait in line for.
How were those?
So overall, I will say that the actors and actresses and just Cedar Point in general are absolutely knocking out of the park this year, at least from what I saw last year.
I would agree.
I mean, everything first off seemed pretty decently staffed. I think I went on record in our haunt preview show outwardly complaining about how bad Harvest Fear has been.
Yes.
In the past years. It's very good this year.
Okay.
I don't know who the scare captain is over there or what changed, but they're doing a phenomenal. Maybe they listened to the podcast.
Maybe.
But they're doing a phenomenal job. Bloodbath, you could tell that maybe the house itself wasn't quite ready yet.
Yeah.
But it's. I mean, we've already talked about it, so I'm not going to go into detail, super big detail, but it's, basically like Club Blood revamped.
It's like Club Blood, like 2.0 or something.
Yeah. And everybody in there is doing a phenomenal job. Erie Estate, they kind of made a big deal on the haunt page of it being basically, brand. It's not. It's basically the same, except they kind of, in the first room, they do like, did you go through Erie Estate tonight?
Yes.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. In the first room, they did this little pre-show thing with the Ouija board. Not going to go super into it. Other than that, the house is pretty much the same. There is one room that was changed.
Yeah, where the pillars and stuff and everything on the side and everything. Yeah,
that was like a hotel hallway or something.
Yeah, it looked cool though. I mean, like I was like, oh wow,
good opportunity for some scares in there.
Oh yes, yeah. There's a few that but my friends got scared that I was with.
Yeah. And everybody in there was really doing a great job last weekend. And and the ones that recognized me, that made it fun from last year when I worked in there. The amount of times I heard Harold.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
That was cool. Going through there
was super cool too. I've said multiple times that Cornstalkers has been my favorite outdoor haunt, and it's really good. I mean, just that single file, right up, very claustrophobic in the corner. It's always a good one.
I would agree.
Overall, I'm very, very happy with Haunt this year. Of course, we got to talk about Midnight Syndicate. I'm not going to spoil it, but
I haven't seen that, so yeah,
we'll see it tomorrow. We'll watch it tomorrow.
Definitely.
I'm not going to spoil it, but it's definitely maybe a little different than what we're used to out of Midnight Syndicate. The only kind of spoiler I'll say, which it really isn't, I mean, you're not going to ruin the story, is So Cedar Point has a new character, like, head character for Haunt this year, Mr. Midnight.
Yep.
Super cool character. I'm already a big fan of him. But he's featured very heavily in Midnight Syndicate.
Cool. Okay.
So it's the first time I think that they've brought in, they're really meshing the park with the Midnight Syndicate show.
It's cool because it's their 25th anniversary, and it's HalloWeekends.
It's both Haunt or HalloWeekends and Midnight Syndicates. So yeah, that was really good. We did the opening Scary Monies, which was, I liked Call of the Scare better back at Town Hall, but I just love the idea of like the opening, creepy, Mr. Midnight, like, haunting everything. And then all the actors running around like crazy,
that's
crazy
cool.
throughout all Celebration Plaza.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's always a win. That's cool. And then it was really hot, really humid last weekend, and there was no wind. So the fog was absolutely insane. I mean, it just sat there.
Yeah.
We rode Maverick at like 11 o'clock at night on Friday, and you couldn't see 2 feet in front of you the entire ride. It was just fog.
That's the best time when the humidity is really, really, really
I'm
hot.
sure you almost had no fog tonight.
There wasn't any fog there, but like when the humidity is really high and there's like no wind, and it's
so cool,
and it just sticks.
What was super crazy was, so we closed out the park at midnight on Friday. We went back to the hotel. I took a shower, and then I looked out my window, which was facing the park, and I looked back towards Frontier Town, and the fog was still sitting there.
Oh wow! Even after the park closed too, right?
It was like probably close to 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow, that's so cool. That's
cool.
My god! That's how you know that was a really good night.
It was the most crazy fog night I've ever
and that's got to be
life.
Like the best time too, is because like the scare actors or the screamsters,
they could actually scare you because they can really use the fog.
They can be lost in the fog, and the lights always look really good in the fog, and shadows and everything just looks. I mean, with stage design and stuff. I mean, fog just adds another element to everything. So that's cool.
And the one thing was, with how good the fog was, I really wanted to get on Millennium, but it was closed all weekend.
Oh,
like all weekend, even into Sunday.
Sad.
They were cycling it like crazy. There was some sort of part issue, but I believe it opened tonight.
Yeah, it was open tonight.
If you're listening to the podcast and you're on your way to the park, Millennium will more than likely be open for you.
There you go.
So I was sad though, because the fog was so good on Millennium with Blood on the Bayou there on the island and Vanished and Corns. Oh my God, it would have been so good.
Man,
but it is what it is.
Right.
Overall, Haunt's a huge win. They have great merchandise. 50 new buttons.
Wow. And there's no blind packs too, right?
They still have blind packs for the regular 2022 season ones, but all 50 of them are available off the wall. I bought 25 of them. There's one set that is a button for every single year that Haunt has been around. Or I keep saying Haunt. It's HalloWeekends. It was just Haunt for those couple of years.
They're I think they're really pushing HalloWeekends now. So
yeah. And then they have another set of buttons that's like a bunch of weird like symbols representing each attraction. And then they have a set that's a few of the old haunted houses and
do they have
zones.
Do they have Toy Factory?
Yes, they do. Off the top of my head, they have Toy Factory, Eternity Infirmary, Carnival. This is one that even predates me, but it was like the Toxic Tunnel of Terror.
Oh yeah, when I was like not even like old enough to drive, like I remember my family, we would go there and check that out. I think that was actually where Disaster Transport was. I think
like within its queue, like where the Pharaoh's Secret was, and Happy Jacks.
Yeah.
I think
that one was always cool. It was like I think it was almost like black light stuff that would be like lit up and
that's cool.
If I'm thinking
so kind of like this year's text of the recent years.
Yeah, if you guys are listening to this, you guys have some cool haunt memories, feel free to drop us an email on the Facebook page, and we'd love to read them.
Do like kind of a listener not feedback, like I don't know, like share
Their
stories,
shout out thing,
interactive episode. of
Yeah,
some
why
sort.
not? So yeah, if you're listening to this and you have a cool story, feel free to share it, and maybe we'll share it in a future episode.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so that's what I have to say about Haunt. I'm super excited to actually go this weekend and actually get Haunt weather, instead of basically summer weather, but with a Halloween theme.
I do have
Yeah.
to say, with the staffing, at least when I went tonight or whatever, there's probably like 15 people trying to park cars where there was like not a ton of cars tonight, which was interesting. And then they were
Hey.
very adamant about wanting to park in a specific area. They got rid of like all of the beach parking, and they got rid of all of the preferred parking on that right side, at least tonight. I don't know if it's going to be
Well,
different.
maybe because it was so empty tonight, they were trying to kind of keep everything condensed.
But everything was pushed all the way up by the beach, and they filtered everybody back. So that was pretty interesting. And
they probably still didn't even make it back to the security tower with parking.
Oh yeah, so you drove away when I left tonight. You would like drive away, and you would see there's only like 2 rows of like parking kind of like overrun in there. But the reason is because it's all forward. So I mean, the park was actually kind of busy tonight. Like, it wasn't super busy for a Thursday,
But like there was people around.
but there was people around. Yeah, there was a probably, I'd say maybe a 20-minute wait for Bloodbath, the new haunted, one of the new haunted houses, and probably maybe like a 10-minute wait for the Haunting of Erie Estate. So but yeah, so I got to I got to experience it a little bit. I got to walk around and check some stuff out and see. I got to walk through Bloodbath, and that was cool. It's definitely
I like having a brand new house.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's something about having a new house, and it's just the excitement, and it had like a line. Like,
I love
Deprivation
the
didn't really have a whole lot of a lines.
No, it never did.
Too scared of it. It was,
or maybe it had a high capacity because Deprivation was actually like 3 houses.
Maybe, I mean, they could throw people there. There was 3 different mazes, so maybe that's why people could just go
But I've did you obviously you had to have walked through it. The scene in Bloodbath where it's kind of like a dark alleyway, and you have actors on either on both sides of you, have actors within like a chain link fence area.
Yes, that was cool.
A very well done.
That was cool. And the scare actors in there, they were all screaming, like, help me, and like grinding on the fence and like freaking you out. And I was like paying attention. And then all of a sudden there was like someone at the very end that just got us all and scared the crap out of all of us. It was, yeah, it was good. That was a good part. But I think the house is still in being done still. I'm not sure if it's like 100%. It looks like it could be. I don't know what the 100% looks like, but I mean,
I'll be able to tell you like tomorrow. Like,
I'm curious
how
to
it
see,
is
curious
versus
to see
last weekend.
what you say. But I think it was really cool. It was like I said, it was really exciting. And the same thing with Erie, the Haunting of Erie Estate. That was cool with the whole, I don't want to spoil it, with the whole Ouija board and what they do and stuff and everything.
Yeah.
And there were some cool little scares and stuff. And I've noticed that they moved a few of the furniture out and around, or they got rid of some of the stuff. Like in the very beginning, they got rid of the couch. I remember the
the first couple of rooms were a little different. The room I was in is the exact same, and I was so happy to see that.
Yeah. I was all over that house last year and everything. So, but all in all, like, it was good. And we went to Miss Keats and had a burrito bowl, and it was a good time. So
neither of us have tried any of the specialty haunt food yet. So
no, actually, we got
next week.
Yeah, we'll be able to talk about that on next week and stuff, because we'll be able to be at the park definitely tomorrow and possibly more throughout this weekend. So it'll be really cool. So
yeah. So it sounds like you also are huge win on HalloWeekends this year.
Oh yes, yeah. I definitely feel the excitement. I got to see when I was walking out to leave for the night, I was able to walk by the what is it, the witches, the heckling witches?
Yeah.
Is it witch?
Kyle, we need you.
I think it's witch.
Yeah, witch, please. But there's a longer There's a longer title that ends with "Which please."
Yeah. So, and they were heckling and stuff. It was fun. Like everyone was having.
What's the level of insults they're throwing?
I think they were talking about like they were talking about like, oh honey, your hair can use some kind of like new dye, and like they were just kind of making fun of like someone's hair.
So like not too aggressive.
No,
enough to be like, wow, all right.
Yeah, it was enough to be funny.
Imagine being paid to go up there for what, 6 hours and just make fun of people.
It almost reminded me of the witches from like Hocus Pocus kind of thing.
I want to go on a Thursday, go to Derby Dogs, and just sit there and listen.
Right, and just sit there and drink a drink.
Just laugh.
Could sit there and do that. So, but yeah. So anyway, when doing all that haunt stuff and everything, switching gears just a little bit. So I go there right at 5 o'clock, and I'm like, okay, cool. Let's see what's happening with the Topville Dragster area. And lo and behold, I walk over there.
Spoiler alert,
there's a lot going on. Disclaimer, a lot going on. First of all, there's a giant crane on site next to where the launch track is, but isn't anymore. Because I rode, anybody rides Power Tower or rides Iron Dragon, Power Tower, you can get a really good view of it if you sit in.
Or if you ride Corkscrew, but it's not open on Thursdays and Fridays.
Right. And don't take your cameras out. Don't take pictures. It's against Cedar Point.
You will get kicked out.
You will get kicked out.
No questions asked. You are gone.
Right.
Do not do it.
Do not do it. That's the disclaimer. Do not do it. Anyway. Yeah. So I rode Power Tower.
We'll make fun of you on this podcast.
And also Iron Dragon. And I saw that the track around the unload area in the station and around the launch area to where the launch tree is completely gone. The only thing that's there seems to be like the gray supports that held the track up. So your guess is as good as mine. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know.
My first thought is maybe they just haven't got the supports yet. My second thought is they're keeping the supports for a reason.
I don't. Yeah, I'm like, dude, we're gonna be halfway into HalloWeekends, and like they're gonna start removing like pieces of the tower, and I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, what's happening?
I mean, okay, but seriously though, at the pace they're going, it seems like deconstruction would be done by the end of HalloWeekends, and we'll probably be seeing reconstruction of some sort if that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen.
It just feels like they're removing everything really gingerly and carefully, like really, really carefully,
but very fast.
I don't know. Very fast, yes, but I don't know. I don't know.
I
Your
mean,
guess
like
is mine.
Like we were talking about the spike theory, which I mean, I who knows if that's what's going to happen. But for talking's sake, let's just say it is. The way that the pace that they're moving at right now, we could see the foundation and the footer for that spike go in like in a month.
I mean, I see that, but I also see them. So, okay. So if it's going to be LSM, okay, just hear me out. If it's going to be a new launch coaster, and say it's going to need new trains. Okay. Say the old trains can't work on it, whatever. They have to have new trains. Will those new trains be able to work with the current setup that Dragster had? Will it be able to use the kicker wheels? Will it be able to use those brakes? So if it's going to get new trains and everything, and if it's going to have a new launch system, maybe you replace the track from where the brakes and kicker wheels start all the way over
if you think about other Intamin coasters with LSM launches, so we'll just talk Maverick because it's in the same park.
Yeah.
The brakes and the launch magnets both go down a seam right down the center of the train.
Right.
Obviously, Dragster, if you look at Dragster, that's not what there was two sets of brakes on like the first third and the second third of the train. So I mean, like we were saying a couple weeks ago on here, this would be literally whole launch track, whole brake track from like the finish line on would have to be completely replaced, or the track would have to be retrofitted with the brake or launch right down the middle of the track instead of offset on both sides.
Right. Right. I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I was talking to Justin, our awesome neighborhood announcer guy, and he's like,
God.
we were talking and we were like, it's really cool, and we're really excited to see like what the future holds for this. Like, I personally hope that the tower stays and like
I think it
something
is. Like I
ends up
just
like that. But like,
I could see them, even if they completely got rid of Dragster, keeping the tower as a lawn ornament because it's just so iconic. I've said that about Corkscrew too,
yeah.
like
I don't.
keeping the corkscrews over the midway.
I'm just the only thing I think I'm gonna be bummed about, and I mean, maybe not. Obviously I've never ridden like a new launch coaster like this. If it's gonna be converted to an LSM, like how everyone kind of thinks it's gonna
Oh, you've
happen.
ridden Velocicoaster.
I'm just worried. Like I don't know if a new LSM launch for that ride will have the same crazy intensity that a hydraulic launch
not.
is going to have. That's
It's
the only
not.
that punch that like I know it's not like I don't know. Maybe it will because
And
I know
I feel like
I know
if
I don't know.
Cedar Point isn't, how am I going to put this and keep it PG? Cedar Point isn't going to Walmart this.
Yeah,
They're not
I
going
don't
to,
think
I'm sorry, we'll keep it in amusement park. They're not going to Six Flags this. Whatever they do is going to be, it's not going to be a watered down version of Dragster.
Right.
They're going to try their hardest by whatever means necessary or possible or, invented yet to make this ride exceed Dragster.
Yeah. No,
Will it?
I mean, I'm
All the
excited.
coaster boys will discuss that. Will it exceed Dragster? We'll see. But they're gonna do their best to make sure that they do everything in their power to make that.
Well, and also I was thinking like they're gonna like if the rumors are true and they convert it to an LSM and they don't just get rid of it completely, like you got to think that I don't think that they would take that current track, cut everything out, and then just randomly add LSMs to it and like weld it on. Like I just don't.
No,
if you've got a high rate of speed and you want everything to be super safe. I don't think
you need new track.
So yeah, I think new track is that's gonna have to happen. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's there's a huge update. So nothing's another. I should say it seems like they're really trying to not have people like peek over the wall. I guess you could say they obviously built the wall really high,
and then they don't do it anyways.
And then they also like for where the gates were and stuff. I know that there was like a gap between the gate and where you can kind of see. They also kind of sealed that up a little bit. So we're not going to post photos over the wall, unless maybe we were exiting from Corkscrew, but
which I think is less likely than
right
than a lot of things. Is I've ridden Corkscrew twice this year.
And like I said, if you want to see what's going on, ride Power Tower. Don't take your phone out. Ride Iron Dragon. Don't take your phone out.
If you want a picture, ride Corkscrew and take it from the exit. And quickly and carefully exit though.
Yeah.
Don't block the exit.
I wouldn't even suggest that. I would just just take it in with your eyes. See what you see.
Yeah, you're right. Forget that I even said that.
Yeah, just see what you see, and that'll be it. Like
because whatever you see is everybody's seeing it, and it's not going to look the same in a week anyways. So
right, everything will change. So I just have to say really quick, jumping away from like in the Top Thrill Dragster talk, the midway next to Top Thrill Dragster, all the pumpkins, all the squashes, all the everything that looked really cool.
That was something I forgot to add. So
really
cool. The very woodsy area down by Magnum bathrooms, so you have the like grassy area or not grassy, mulchy area between the bathrooms and the midway, and then there's also the midway and Dragster's entrance. There was no pumpkins there last week. Were those out?
A ton of them. Yeah.
Okay. Our thought was it was so stinking hot out that they didn't want to put them out yet because they would rot like they did last year.
Yeah, possibly.
So they waited until this week, and they look good and awesome.
But yeah, so
I always love that midway. That always comes out good.
I was gonna say just jump. We're jumping all around. I was gonna say real quick.
We need Kyle. We're so lost.
Yeah, we don't have Kyle to keep us on track. But real quick, the update for the Grand Pavilion and Wild Mouse, the Wild Mouse finally got its foundation poured. So
Yes.
that's the only update. I mean, they're adding a bunch of stuff to.
And that's not anything that Tony tweeted that from the park.
Yes.
So if you want a good picture of that, go look at Tony's Twitter.
Or go get a friend and ride the giant wheel, and you'll be able to see everything.
Or so wait for us on this weekend, because we'll probably ride the giant wheel this weekend.
We will ride the giant wheel this weekend.
Yeah, not tomorrow though, because it's Friday.
And the right.
Right? The giant wheel is closed on Friday. Right?
I don't think so. I think it's I don't know.
Yeah, but it's so dark out.
True. No, because you got to remember the park opens at noon.
Oh well, we're gonna. Well, I don't know about you, but I ain't gonna get there till evening.
Oh well, I'm gonna.
Anyways,
yeah. So we're just babbling.
we're just friends talking.
Yeah. But yeah, we're just letting a bunch of people listen to us talk.
This is very. Hey, it's fun. We're having fun here.
Right.
So I guess we'll completely switch gears again and talk about breakers real quick, and then wrap this up.
Absolutely. Let's go for it.
So I've grown up in Cleveland my entire life. So obviously there hasn't really ever been a need for me to stay at Breakers. Cedar Point's a 40-minute drive away. But I really want to stay at Breakers. And Maya knew that. And she bought me a weekend at Breakers for my birthday weekend. My birthday was opening night of Haunt. I didn't go that day, but we did go the 16th, 17th, and 18th. And holy cow, Breakers is awesome. I mean, the hotel, it's a room, it's clean. The headboards have pictures of Cedar Point on them, whatever. But we got hooked up with a perfect view of the park. I know most people probably go there and want a lake view. I wanted a park view. I got a park view. My view, our window literally framed Millennium's lift hill and first turnaround.
Yeah, you sent me that picture. I was like,
oh my God. And then if you turned the other way, it framed Valraven and Power Tower. And if Dragster was running, it would have been a really sweet vantage point for Dragster. Oh, yeah. So this is just so dorky, but like the coolest thing was on Saturday morning, I woke up from the sound of Rougarou. Like that was the first thing I heard was the Rougarou roar.
That's funny.
And not that it's super loud or anything, but you could hear like when you sleep past when the park is opening, you start to hear the dull roar of the park, and Rougarou is a loud ride. You could hear it. And then so I opened my eyes. The very first thing I see was Valraven going down the first drop. So like Saturday was just off to a fantastic start for me. Like roller coasters.
Well, I was
moment one.
Your room, like, because I've stayed at Breakers and I've had kind of like that view. It's like I want to go to sleep and close the blinds because I don't want the sun to come out or come in and wake me up in the morning. But I'm like, I want to fall asleep. I want to fall asleep to the nightlight of Millennium Force. Like, can I please have both?
Yeah, right. And like, so I woke up to go to the bathroom, and so it's like 7 a.m, and I just went by the window and stood there for a minute. Like, this is cool. This is really cool. And like, I've seen the sunrise from the best vantage point in the park from the top of Valraven, but this was also super cool.
That's awesome.
And then they decorated Breakers super nice for Halloween, of course, down in the lobby. And then the other two things are, they have 2 restaurants inside of Breakers that people probably don't really know. Well, actually, no, they have 3. We only went to 2 of them. They have TGI Fridays. That's the one we didn't go to. But then they also have a Perkins, which, okay, that's a great breakfast place. We went there both Saturday morning and Sunday morning.
They have really good omelets.
Great service, great omelets. And then on during Saturday evening, when the park was extremely busy, we took a break, walked the 5 minutes from the Magnum Gate to the Breakers lobby, and went to Tomo Hibachi, which I don't know if that's a chain or if it's just like a Cedar Point hibachi thing. I don't know. It's a little pricey, but you get a ton of food.
Yeah, you were showing me
fantastic.
The food sizes. Oh my word.
Yeah, the food's fantastic, and hibachi places are a lot of fun.
I love when they like make it right in front of you, and
I mean, he did
like tricks and stuff that they do.
Yeah, we were watching another table as we were eating, and we noticed that even though it was a different chef, they kind of all do the same routine. But it was a ton of fun. It was my first experience with a hibachi place too. And if you're going to Breakers, or even if you could visit the park and just walk over to Breakers and go to the hibachi place, or Perkins if you really want to, or TGI Fridays. You don't have to be a Breakers
Well,
customers
next
to
year
go
you're
in
gonna be able to have the the Grand Pavilion to
right.
go check out too, which will be really nice.
Because that seems like it'll be accessible from the beach
I
as
would
well.
assume, yeah.
But yeah, I totally recommend those restaurants. And if you have pretty nice chunk of change to spend, check out Breakers, even if you live 30 minutes from the park, because it's just a really, really cool experience. And I couldn't recommend it.
I agree. It's nice, and plus you don't have to worry about driving to the park or trying to find a parking spot. Like once you park a car, because I've done a few weekends where you just park your car and you just leave it and you don't visit it for like 3 days, and you just
Yeah.
and it's really, really, really close to the park.
Yeah. And like, well, speak to how close to the park it was. If from the moment I woke up on Saturday morning, if we hadn't gone to breakfast, like instead of walking down to breakfast, if I just kept going and went to Magnum, I would have been, from the moment I woke up to the time I rode Magnum, like 30 minutes.
Wow.
Which, I mean, that's if like you like just get up, brush your teeth and go.
Yeah.
But which is like, I mean,
that's cool.
yeah, if you're wanting to ride rides, that's the way to
I
do
really
it.
And honestly, if I'm trying to think, like, there's not a whole lot of parks that have hotels that are that close like that.
Carowinds, I guess.
But like that's outside though, just outside.
Yeah.
That's not. You got to still get in your car and drive. Like,
they don't have like a path from Carowinds to the hotel there.
It might, but that's a long path.
Yeah.
That's all the way by.
Same with Great Wolf Lodge too, down at Kings Island.
I mean, yeah, that's a little bit. I've done that before, but that's a little bit of a walk. But I mean, you still can do it.
It's cool. Point being is there is some that compare, but nothing is as close as Breakers.
Right. And
it's awesome.
I do agree with you. It's beautiful. It's nice. The views are nice. If you want to look at the lake / people call it the ocean when they don't know, when they're not from Ohio, they think it's the ocean. But then if you want, you can always look backward and you could always see the park. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'm
yeah. And it's a really old hotel, but like while you could tell it's old, it doesn't feel old from a functionality standpoint.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it was just redone. Like,
yeah, it's a great place.
It's just redone from top to bottom, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
but
I really, really enjoyed it. I told Maya, I'm like, if you don't want to stress about picking out a birthday gift for me in future years, just default to Breakers.
Just Breakers for the win.
Yeah,
hotel Breakers great. For the win. And their pools are nice too. They got a ton of pools. They got 2 outdoor pools.
And we didn't do any of the pools because we were too busy going to restaurants and going to the park for haunt and stuff. But
yeah, they got 2
even their outdoor pools were still open too because the weather was nice.
And then they got one indoor pool. They got a bunch of hot tubs. Like, yeah, it's really nice.
Pretty. I mean, it's a small arcade, but the games they have in there are like legit, like good.
And you can win prizes. There's like a little prize thing. Like if you get enough points, whatever, it's an automatic.
It's like
prize.
An automated prize counter, which is awesome.
Really cool. I enjoyed
it. We had a really, really nice time there.
I'm glad. Well, I think we should wrap this up here. Kyle's only not going to close us out, so I think I'll be the one that closes us out. But hey, you know what? We get to hang out tomorrow because we got invited from Cedar Point to come check out something cool. We'll be able to talk to you guys about what we're going to see next week on this podcast.
I think it's going to mostly be food related.
And
we'll have a full review of all the indoor haunts. Yeah,
we'll definitely have a full review of HalloWeekends. A lot more. I'll be able to see Midnight Syndicate and everything like that. But yeah, definitely. Thanks for listening to us. Obviously, we're one down because Kyle's not here, so we definitely miss him. But I think me and Evan did a good job. So be sure and rate us on Spotify and also on Apple Podcasts. And we will talk to you guys next week.
And be kind to your ride-ups. And what's the other one? We'll see you on the midways.
We'll see you on the midway. Thanks, guys.
Woo, woo.
Bye.
Woo.